Alright guys, a couple of big stories to report on in regards to Tom Ford. First of all, massive price hike on Tom Ford fragrances, which I'm going to report on and give you some examples and per mil prices. On top of that, I also read a headline last week that Tom Ford is thinking about or talking to people about selling his brand. So Tom Ford brand is sold and he wants out of his brand. Alright, I'm also going to give you my top 10 all-time favorite Tom Ford fragrances, but ones that are readily available for purchase still. So find out all about this coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today I'm talking about Tom Ford with this massive price hike. Massive, huge. The way I noticed this, a friend of mine was selling some Tom Ford fragrances. One of them was a 250 ml bottle of tobacco oud, which is very difficult to get. Yes, I bought it. She was also selling half a bottle of Oud Mineral in a 250 ml decanter, and then also a half a bottle of Oud Fleur. I ended up making a good deal with her and I went and bought it. I decided to go to the Tom Ford website and check prices. Of course, none of them were there. And then I noticed that the more expensive Tom Ford private blend collections were now $1,200. $1,200 for FF, freaking fabulous. Lost Cherry doesn't come in that size, but anything in that more expensive collection went from $960 to $1,200, $240 jack up price. So I was shocked with this price point. A really shocking price point. Very expensive. In fact, I did a video several months ago on the most expensive fragrances in my collection. These would have been even more expensive now that they've gotten the price hike. Have you guys noticed the price hike? It's pretty intense. The regular private blend collection 250 ml bottles were $680 or $90 at the last time I checked, and now they're $800. Really pricey. And then 100 ml signature Parfum fragrances like Costa AZZURRA, and then also the new Noir Extreme Parfum that's going to come out. If you haven't heard, that's coming soon. I have a video on it. Those are going to be $230 for 100 ml. So massive price hike on all these fragrances. They didn't warn us. I didn't hear about them until I discovered that these are, you know, raised in price. And so sadly we missed out on buying the fragrances in their, you know, last price points. Now they're extremely expensive. What do you guys think of this price hike? Now that the more expensive private blend went from $960 to $1,200. What do you think of this massive price hike? It's extreme. I haven't seen a designer go with this kind of a price point before. It's really extreme. Dior, Privé, 250 ml bottles go for $350. They were $330. They've gone up to $350. Tom Ford now either $800 for a 250 ml or $1,200 for a 250 ml. Thoughts? This is such a difference between the prices of the fragrances. But let me get my glasses and read you some per mil prices and things like that. So the prices are, if you do the Parfum version of 100 ml signature, like the Costa AZZURRA Parfum, $230, or a 50 ml is $175. So per mil price is $250, and then the per mil price is $402 for the 50 ml. Going to something like Tobacco Vanille, which is now $800 in this particular bottle. So the price is, the per mil price for this is $3.48. The 100 ml sells for $3.90, and the per mil price there is $4.24. And the 50 ml of this sells for $285, so the per mil price is $6.20. And unfortunately, I don't have any of the more expensive private blend collection fragrances to display here, but if you were ending up buying freaking fabulous, I'm not saying that word because YouTube doesn't like it, but if you were to buy that, it's $1,200, and the per mil price for that is $5.22. The per mil prices I'm giving you are after taxes, and those are taxes, California taxes, or San Francisco, California tax rates. 100 ml price of freaking fabulous is $550. which makes for $5.98 per mil after taxes. The 50 ml price for the FF fragrance or anything in that category is $390, and so $8.48 per mil. Very expensive. There's also a 30 ml version of this, and that would be $240, and after taxes per mil price is $8.70. So thoughts on this very pricey private blend collection or any Tom Ford fragrances collection? What are your thoughts? I think the prices have just gone way outrageous. I always felt like the $960 price point for the more expensive private blend was already too high. I mean, when I first got into fragrance reviewing, the private blend collection and the 250s were somewhere around the 500. They kept going up and up and up, and last time I checked was 690, and of course now it's 800. So way overpriced, extremely overpriced. Will they sell? I don't know. What are you guys thinking about this price hike? Let me know. Put a comment down. The other thing was, as I said, I read an article that Tom Ford is planning on selling his brand, or thinking about it, or talking to people. I didn't read the article very well, but I posted about it on my Facebook page. There were a lot of different reactions about this. So yeah, is he thinking of retiring from, being involved with his brand? I know a lot of designers do that, like Mugler did it. Sadly, he's passed away, but some other designers do it, and then somebody else comes in and takes over. I think Tom Ford is Tom Ford with Tom Ford or himself. So I don't know if he passes it on or sells the brand, if it'll stay as cool as it is, because right now it's pretty hyped. It's a great brand. Maybe they can get these price points for these fragrances because they think they're so cool. But I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this particular scenario of Tom Ford selling his own brand to somebody else, and he walks away and somebody else takes his name and does, the clothes, the beauty and the fragrances and all that? What are your thoughts? Do let me know. Put a comment down. Alright, and as mentioned, there is a top 10 here, all-time Tom Ford fragrances. And the reason I'm saying all-time is all-time right now of the fragrances you can buy. I don't want to say all-time and feature fragrances you can't buy. That would be a separate video I'll do of discontinued Tom Ford fragrances and things like that. But definitely right now, these are the all-time favorite fragrances that are currently selling from Tom Ford. And I've got private blend and I've got regular signature line. Sadly, I don't have any from the more expensive private blend. But we're going to start off at number 10 with Costa AZZURRA Parfum. I really like the Parfum version of Costa AZZURRA, and I really like the Eau de Toilette version, the lighter version, the aqua version is what I should say. I didn't really care for the regular Eau de Parfum, but the Parfum is really great. It's very lemony, but kind of a sweet lemon with lots of woods, and it has the kind of the marine-like backbone, but you're really kind of like deep into a cypress forest with kind of sea breeze hitting you, and kind of like near like a lemon grove or something, because you've got the lemony touch here. It's quite nice and it wears great. It's deep and rich, more concentrated than the original. It's not like massive, like it's not like big uber kind of beast mode kind of a thing, but I really like its kind of dense concentration in this particular fragrance. It smells fantastic. So we're starting at number 10 with Tom Ford's Costa AZZURRA Parfum. Moving on to number 9, Grey Vetiver. This list might be, more masculine leaning than normal because I don't have a lot of feminine leaning fragrances here, sadly, except for the bonus one. But Grey Vetiver is a great vetiver fragrance. Recently I featured it in my top 20 vetiver fragrances video, and I think this is really great smelling with vetiver, woods, and grapefruit. Grapefruit vetiver together I think is a great combo. Here we have it in full form. It's lots of woods with this earthiness of the vetiver and the zing from the grapefruit, and then there's also, Oakmoss here, nutmeg, orange blossom, and sage. So there's some aromatic touches and of course citrus floral touches as well. It's very classy. It wears really beautifully, and I think it's one of the better vetivers from designers out there. But this is now the Parfum versions of Signature was $230, and I believe the regular Signature fragrances are about $215. So the prices have gone up. But Grey Vetiver at number 9. Moving on to number 8, I'm going with Black Orchid Parfum. I like Black Orchid Parfum a little more, and I got a little more of a nuttiness and also plumminess in here. There's definitely this nutty black truffle note in this particular fragrance. There's also the fruitiness of the plum. There's definitely a little booziness as well, and a little tropical floral touch, but lots of patchouli, and of course they credit Black Orchid. I do prefer this one once again over the original Black Orchid. It has a kind of creamy amberiness and this kind of like density that I like that's in Costa Azzurra Parfum that is in also Black Orchid Parfum. It's a great smell. It's a very, very popular fragrance for Tom Ford. Yeah, I think I really like this one. And the original one was targeted feminine. This is targeted unisex, and I think Tom Ford has changed it now, because I know a lot of men that wear Black Orchid, but I think originally when the fragrance came out it was feminine targeted. But Black Orchid Parfum, it's a great scent at number 8. You can always go with the original as well. Moving on to number 7, it's Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. Beau de Jour is a great barbershop fougere fragrance, really great smelling with loads of lavender, and I believe they credit like multiple versions of lavender or types of lavender in here. So it's an overdose of lavender, lots of it. If you like lavender and smelling like barbershop shaving cream and things like that, this is definitely great. It's a solid release. They did a great job with Beau de Jour. You know, I ended up with a bottle recently. I bought a bottle of Beau de Jour recently in the original bottle, and I haven't opened it up yet. I just wanted it as a collector's item. But Beau de Jour is wonderful. It's a great barbershop fragrance, and it features lavenders, as I said, patchouli, rosemary, oakmoss, mint, basil, amber, and geranium. Probably one of the better fougères out there for men from designers, if there are any other fougères out there from the designers. But Beau de Jour at number 7 from Tom Ford. And then this next one, we're waiting for the Parfum version of this, soon to launch. But not Beau de Jour, but Noir Extreme in the original is really great. Smells wonderful. It's sweet and it's spicy and also creamy, ambery, vanillic. So it features that Kulfi note, kind of a pistachio ice cream note. There's definitely kind of a pistachio quality here, along with like a creamy vanillic touch from that ice cream type note here. But there's also cardamom, there's vanilla, nutmeg, saffron, amber, woods, sandalwood, jasmine, orange blossom, neroli, and mandarin. It's delicious fragrance. It's very popular. I did that video on the anticipation of the Parfum version of this. I didn't realize there were so many fans of this. A lot of people said something like, I don't love Tom Ford fragrances, but I really love Noir Extreme or something like that. Just different kind of comments like that, and I was surprised that this has many fans. Also, the other comments that I received about this one is the performance, so it's kind of lacking in performance. So hoping the Parfum version of this that's going to land soon is going to be much better than the current version, the original version. So it's Noir Extreme Parfum from the house of Tom Ford at number 6. So up next at number 5, it's not the Parfum version, but the original version of Ombre Leather at number 5. And I shouldn't say the original, because the original version of Ombre Leather was a private blend, and it was a limited release. It came and went, and then they brought it as a eau de parfum in the signature line. Really great fragrance. I prefer this particular version over Tuscan Leather, and I haven't featured Tuscan Leather here because they kind of have similarities, but this one has a little more brightness and a little less challenging time to wear, and it smells really great. I love it. I'm just putting it to my nose for the first time in a long time, and I'm loving the way it smells. So it's leather, amber, jasmine, oakmoss, patchouli, cardamom, and I much prefer the eau de parfum over the Parfum in the Tom Ford Ombre Leather collection of fragrances. I don't know why. The Parfum just didn't do it for me. I think the original is quite nice. I really like it, and I think it deserves the number 5 spot. At number 5, it's Ombre Leather from the house of Tom Ford. Next, we're going to a private blend fragrance. It is Oud Wood. Oud Wood here. Oud Wood is definitely one of those very popular woody fragrances. Oud wood, kind of a western oud with spices. There's definitely lots of oud here, but it's the kind of easy to wear oud, not necessarily like challenging, animalic, and things like that. So there's oud rosewood, sandalwood, cardamom, vanilla, Sichuan pepper, vetiver, and tonka. Very masculine offering. It's unisex, but I think it's very classy. If you like the idea of oudy, wood, western, classy, you know, spicy, kind of a masculine offering, definitely try Oud Wood from the house of Tom Ford. It's at number 4. I'm gonna feature this one. It's a little more challenging to get, but as I reported back in that Noir Extreme Parfum video, you can still get tobacco oud in England and Europe. It's selling. It's just the American consumer does not like this fragrance, so it's kind of discontinued here. That's why I'm featuring it still, because it's still available. You can buy it from Selfridges, order it from there, or Harrods if you buy, and of course do the Rakuten thing, which I have in the link. You can save like a percentage and cash back and things like that. But tobacco oud is super fantastic. I did end up with that 250 ml decanter. I bought it because it was being sold by a friend who was getting rid of a bunch of fragrances. This is kind of that dirty, ashy, oud-y fragrance with that light booziness of the whiskey note in here, but it's got that cumin spice. It's very, very sweaty smelling. It just smells like being in a casino where they allow you to smoke, and you're smoking and chain smoking and all this ash in the ashtray, and you're sipping on whiskey. There's some sweat in the air because you're trying to gamble and win. This is the kind of experience I envision with this particular fragrance. It's really, really great. I really love it. It's challenging. That's kind of why I think it's not selling here. But according to the rep I spoke to, a Estee Lauder rep here in San Francisco, it still sells in Europe because there's a market for it there. Unfortunately not here. So tobacco oud at number 3. Up next, this is number 2 from the Private Blend collection. It's Noir de Noir, this one right here. But get this, look at this, how they sent me this bottle. They normally put the stickers down here, but they've put the sticker for that one up there. I don't know why. I got it from either Harrods or Selfridges. Noir de Noir was my very first Tom Ford Private Blend collection purchase. In fact, it might have even been my whole, although no, I bought Grey Vetiver before I bought Noir de Noir. But it's a fantastic release from Tom Ford, really sexy with the rose and patchouli and the truffles that grow in the ground. So it's earthy, it's oak mossy, it's a chypre fragrance. It does have a little Middle Eastern touches thrown in, like saffron comes in, and there's oud in here as well. And of course it does have some floral touches in addition to the rose that's in here, and also some light sweetness with the vanilla. I really love it. But the problem with this is it's gotten reformulated. It's gotten really kind of weak, but this stuff smells so good. I really love it. There was a time here around 2013, 2014, 2015, I wore so much of this and I would get so many compliments with it. Noir de Noir is super fantastic. I'm still putting it at number 2 as far as the smell goes. Performance wise, it's a little lacking. Unfortunately, it was going to be a toss up between number 2 and number 1. And I've been putting number 1 at number 1. It's Tobacco Vanille at number 1. Tobacco Vanille is a very popular fragrance from Tom Ford, and I feel like it's also beastly. It's not necessarily the weakest. It has gotten lighter than it used to be, but I think that the way the fragrance wears is kind of intense, thick, dense, and I love the combination of the tobacco here with the vanilla. The vanilla is just really delicious here, and the tobacco in here is also the ashy, dirty kind of tobacco, so it's a nice contrast to this vanillic, sweet, syrupy vanilla, and of course the ashiness of the tobacco. But there's also notes of cacao here, there's ginger, there's dried fruits, there's sweet wood sap, and then of course rich spices. This is according to the Tom Ford website, but I also get like clove spice in here, so it's kind of got a holiday-ish vibe. And this is one of my favorite fragrances to wear on Thanksgiving Day because it smells like, gathering with the family. They smoke and you eat and drink and all that kind of stuff together. So it's a great scent. Tobacco Vanille, number 1. It deserves it. Anyway, that's my thoughts. The top 10 all-time favorite Tom Ford fragrances that are currently selling. And of course, the massive price hike. What do you guys think about this? Are you happy? I'm sure you're not happy with this particular price hike. It's massive. This is the biggest price hike I have seen in any fragrance collection. And of course, Tom Ford is already pretty pricey. This is even more pricey. Dior Privé went from $330 to $350, $20 price hike in the 250 ml. Here, massive, massive, massive. Put a comment down. Let me find out what you guys think. And also, what do you guys think about the fact that Tom Ford is thinking about selling his brand? Does that sound pretty sad to you guys? I mean, if the person that's a brand is named after leaves, how could other people, make it as good as the other person has made it? But anyway, let me know, put some comments down. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, list below. Please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Alright, I do have one bonus fragrance for you guys, and I did want to feature this one. It just didn't fit in the top 10. And it's a recent pickup. It's been out for a while. I featured it in my Tropical Fragrances video. It's Soleil Blanc from the Private Blend collection. I have the clear bottle. I've seen the non-clear bottles as well. And I really like this one. And this is the one that kind of leans feminine. And I like its tropical qualities here. It's Ylang-Ylang, coconuts, benzoin, there's tonka beans, tuberose, jasmine, and bergamot. Light citrusy touch, but it's definitely like a beach experience. It's really, really delicious. In fact, I'm going to take this on my trip I go next week and wear it where it's really, really hot and smell like a beach. And there's no beach there. It's all Central Valley, California. But this is really, really great in the heat. It just blooms. There's benzoin in here, adds this vanillic touch and contrasted with the coconut. You got this beachy suntan lotion, tropical beachy vibes kind of thing happening. It's really, really great. I was surprised at how great it is, and I'm glad I have this one. It smells great. It just didn't fit in the top 10. It's Tom Ford Soleil Blanc, and that's the bonus fragrance for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a good one. Bye-bye.